7 in every 1,000 punts are blocked on average in the NFL. That's a less than 1% chance to block the punt and an even slimmer chance of returning it for a touchdown. After Adrian Diaz scored on a punt that he blocked, he raised his arms in the air to celebrate the improbable circumstances. But his circumstances aren't improbable because a blocked punt is rare. They are improbable because Adrian Diaz is lucky to be alive.
Hola, me llamo Adrian y esta es mi historia. Well, I was born in Olanchito, Honduras, well, it's a really small town, you know, like really small.
Olanchito is a town of 25,000 located in Honduras, which has the highest murder rate in the world, and it is where Diaz caused trouble until he was 8 years old.
Bueno, era...
Yeah, everyone in town knew me. Everyone knew that I was the troublemaker.
Peleaba con todo mundo, hasta con las señoras ya viejitas. Él peleaba con las señoras grandes, le gritaba, las insultaba.
I would cuss out all the adults because I thought that was funny. People thought that was funny, so I would do it all the time.
He ended up getting expelled in the first grade. A door appeared to open in 2005, however, when he got a call from his mom telling him he was moving to the United States to live in Florida with his mom, his 2 sisters, and his new stepdad.
I actually liked him at first. I called him Dad, you know? I actually called him Dad and thought it was going to be a really good relationship. One day my mom told me to empty out the dishwasher. And, you know, being me and being so much, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, you know, and I just walked away. And he's like, you're not gonna do what? And he just like looked at me, and I'm not used to like guys screaming at me like in my face, you know. So I was just like, my heart started beating, and I just went to my room and I started cussing. I was like, I just started saying all these things, and then he came up and he just started banging on the door, and I was so scared. I was like holding on to that door so he wouldn't come in. And he was like. He came, he got me out, he grabbed the switch, he grabbed it and he started like whipping me with it. He just wouldn't stop, and then he hit me right here in the eye. And then I started bleeding and he wouldn't stop until my mom stepped in front of him. And he didn't want to stop, and we were just we were all scared of him. And that's when we started like, no way we're gonna call him Dad. He's not our dad, you know. And that's when we all just started hating him. My older sister and my 2 older sisters, we just didn't like him at all. He would hit my sister, and he was not a good guy. Not the guy that we thought he was gonna be.
Unfortunately, the violence was not a one-time thing.
We would all go into our rooms and we just listen, you know. And I was in my room and I heard like a body be pushed against the wall, you know, like, and I was like, what's going on? So, you know, I opened the door and then I saw him holding my mom like this against the wall. So I ran to the kitchen, I grabbed the knife, I opened the door, and I don't think he let her go right away, so I went like this to like scare him so he would let her go, and, you know, he jumped and let her go. And then he's like, put the knife down, and I put it down, and then he's like, next time you do that, I'm gonna use that knife on you, he said. So
the darkness and anger continued to build up inside of Diaz, and he felt the only way to relieve it was through fighting.
I would get in random fights at school, like being dumb. I would come up to a random kid and just want to fight, you know. And it happened once. I went up to this random black kid, and I put my hands up, and then I got out of control. All of a sudden, we're on the ground hitting each other, throwing each other against the wall. And the neighborhood that we lived in, we called it the Low. Like, everyone referred it as the Low because it was low income, low. So he was just standing there with his boys. He was just with all these black guys, and just standing there. And I just came up, you know, like I didn't know it was him. Like I just came up and like started talking to the guys, and then he's like holding something here, he picks up his shirt and he had a gun. He was saying how like this kid tried me at school, this and that. He's like, he doesn't even know me. He was just like going off, you know. And then I got scared. I'm not gonna lie, cause he has a gun. I don't have anything. And then my friend Joe, he's like they really respected him, cause like they were all, cause he was a good fighter, and he just like talked to him and calmed him down, and then the guy just left, and yeah. So lucky that it didn't escalate to anything more than that, and really thankful. I guess I wasn't really afraid of dying, I guess, cause I didn't really think about the consequences much. I just did things and moved on. So, and that's just part of me not like really knowing what, you know, who I am, and like you know, just going and doing whatever I want. So
Diaz's mom and stepdad split up not long after that, and Diaz and his family ended up moving to Iowa to live with his uncle. But Diaz, once again, didn't get along with the dominant male of the household.
You could feel it, you know, in your heart. Like I could feel how dark it was in there. I was tired of hearing him boss my mom around, you know.
And one day, Diaz lost it.
Just didn't want to live there anymore, and then me and him just started fighting more and more because I just didn't like the way he treated us. And we started arguing. I grabbed my phone and I threw it against the wall. I took off my shirt and I was ready to fight, man. Something took over me. I don't know what it was. It was just, I was so mad. I was shaking. I was like, all right, fight me right now. And then I put my hands up, and he's like, I'm not gonna fight you. And I was like, fight me. And I was so mad. I kept banging my chest, fight me. And then he would not fight me, so I got mad. I opened the door and I ran out. I ran out of the front door, and then went into the little garage we have. And then like I was just crying and crying and crying and crying. And then I fell to my knees, and I was just like, why can't you just give me money, Lord? I can help them and this and that. And then just crying to God, and then some peace came to me, and then cried, and I just put my head down and I cried on the ground and didn't even feel the cold. I just didn't stop crying.
The pain was hard and the tears were many, but a blessing was right around the corner. At school, PE teacher Corey Peters approached Diaz about coming to a Fellowship of Christian Athletes meeting, and that's where everything started to change.
I was really lost. I didn't know God. I was just doing the dumbest thing ever. My heart was really like dark at that time. I was just a wanderer, you know. My eyes were blind. I didn't know what was right, what was wrong. I just followed the crowd and did whatever. Really dark place at that time.
I could see that Adrian was in a tough spot. I mean, he's just kind of lost himself.
He's like, Adrian, come here. And I was like, I want you to talk to this guy. And I was like, and his name was Dave.
And so I said, hey Dave, why don't you go tell Adrian about Jesus and, you know, how to accept him.
He's the one that showed me the prayer in the FCA book. He's like, hey Adrian, have you ever accepted Christ into your heart? I was like, no, I haven't. I haven't done it, like, really. And he's like, well, here's a prayer, man, to accept Christ into your heart. And I was like, yeah, I want to, like, I wanted to do it, like.
And I think what Adrian was feeling was that he was found. He was somebody. He was God's child. He was Jesus's child, and Jesus, you know.
And I was smiling at him. He said, there's a party going up in heaven, Adrian. It says in the Bible that the angels are rejoicing in heaven because you became part of the family, of God's family. I got up. I stood up, and I felt light. I just felt so different. It's like I was on clouds. Everything was like, I looked around. I kept looking around. I was like, what is going on? You know, everything just seemed like so much like in depth and so clear. It was just so good. It was the best feeling in the world. Like, better than any high, than getting messed up. It was so good. It was like the best feeling. That's when I accepted Christ. That's when everything, my whole perspective and how I wanted to be successful changed. What I wanted to do changed. So that's when my life turned around, when I accepted Christ.
Now a junior in high school, Diaz is a starter on the football team, goes out to the streets every week to give back to the less fortunate, and sees himself going back to Honduras to share his story in order to inspire others.
Just happy to be here, meeting these great people. So I'm just really blessed because my life has just been one thing to another, and somehow it always becomes better and better. So there's this drive inside of me that wants to be successful. I don't know what it is, but there is something inside of me that I know I have that I have to be successful, and the part of it is God reminding me that I can do it. You know, I want to be something. I really want to do something, and I'm just gonna keep my head up and keep trying to do better.